What up, Mum? So as you can see, it is very foggy this morning, but that's all right because we're gonna be in here doing some work on the windrower front. I put one of the drive rollers in last night. I've got the others in the back of the ute on the honeybee fronts, which this one's a honeybee front, even though it's painted red. It's good to change the bearings every year. I think the Macdons are a little bit different, but anyway, you can see these nice new bearings. Not that, this one's got a new bearing down this end. Yeah, but anyway, we'll get to it and start putting these rollers back in the front. All right, so I went down to Mum and Dad's and I got the stands for the boom, and I've just pulled the front out of the shed, and the plan is I'm going to take the boom off, pick the front up, lift the reel up, and then I'll be able to do it all a bit easier.
Jack it up.
All right, we got the boom off, ready to pick the front up. Just got to do some other stuff beforehand though, but we are getting very close. All right, now we're going to pick the front up and we can do some more work on it. Alright, so this is a bit of a change of plans. We got the boom back on because we've got some spraying to do. Dad called me up and said he needed some spraying done. Alex is coming for a ride back to Granny and Papa's, and then she's gonna hang out with them for a while. But anyway, we're just cruising down there now. Alright, so I've been a bit slack with the camera. A couple of days of spraying has been done, a few hundred hectares, but anyway, we've come to the point where we've finished all the spraying. We need to take the boom off to continue the maintenance, so yeah, we'll whip it off. That's one benefit of the nitro, it's not hard to take it on and off, so yeah, we do take it on and off quite a lot. Right, it's pretty warm today. Anyway, we've got a couple of cracks up the top there that I'm going to weld up. They're in really hard, tricky positions to get to. I'll show you. So there's one down in there I've got to weld up. There's another one down in there. Then there's an easy one on the top there. And then another easy one over there. But anyway, they're just small at the moment, but before they get too big, I thought I'd do my best to stick them back together. But anyway, we'll have a go at them and see how we go.
These roads intersect, on each one I reflect. These lines write my story. These places change me, each one replacing. Like night into morning, I miss the open air, the going anywhere, riding with you, like we used to. Guess I'm better off alone, never know when I'll get home, but I know that home's where the heart is. Guess I'm better off this way, moving to better days, but I know that home's where the heart is. Home's where the heart is. The endless journey, I need not worry, I'll get where I'm going.
Alright, so it actually went okay. I got it welded up. You'll be able to see in there. There's a bit of a weld on there, bit of a weld on that one, and that one, and that one. I painted them all up, put these bolts in because they had broken off. I'm not sure if that's related to the cracks, whether something might be a little bit bent in there. I don't know, but anyway, I put new bolts in. We'll see how long they last. But yeah, I think the nitro's ready to go now. I'll just check the oils, give her all a bit of grease, and we'll be ready to roll. Alright, so we brought the front in here today because what I need to do is clean all this off. See where this is cracked out? I've got to weld this track back on. This is the whole belt frame. Normally it just hooks under there and stays under there. For whatever reason, this one jiggles down and then back, and the whole frame gets twisted and misaligned, and the belt runs crooked. So yeah, probably nearly actually due for a new belt here, but anyway, hopefully it makes it through the year. But yeah, I'm planning to weld it back on and do a bit of bracing to make it stay there better. Alright, so you'll see along here I've done some welding, patched it all up. While I was going, so the other day I realised that this end rotor shear was pointing out like this, the whole nose was, so I straightened it up, and I just ran a bead of weld down here just to make sure it doesn't move. You can see that bolt hole used to line up there, so that's how much it's moved across. Should give me less blocks when I'm turning in the crop. I also did one little bit of weld just there, just to hold it all together, stop that side doing anything. Yeah, now I'm just going to put a little bit of weld just in there, just to stop, to take out any of that movement, and we'll be right to give her a test.
Wow. Alex, show me your hailstone. Are you gonna eat it? Show me your hail. Show me how big it is. Wow. That's a big hailstone.
Alright guys, so Chels had the GoPro yesterday. I was just working on the nitro. But anyway, as you will have just seen, we had a fairly big hailstorm. So I'm just heading out to some of our wheat to have a look to see if there's any damage. So you can see the wheat, it's looking pretty good this year. It's looking really good actually, and it's not hugely damaged from the hail, but you can see here there's just a few seeds on the ground. In the row you can see a few down there. I don't know, it might be, well, in this patch, it might be different over the paddock, but anyway, just here it's probably maybe 1%, if that, something like that. So yeah, it's a bit disappointing, but it's a lot better than it could have been. It could have been very, very bad. So anyway, we haven't escaped damage free, but it's not too bad on this paddock anyway. Out in the canola now, across from my house, and it looks okay at the moment. I spoke to the Coastview cowboy last night and he said just to watch the pods because they might become brittle. Don't know what's happened to that one. That pod's dead. Could be bugs actually. It looks anyway. The pods may become brittle as it ripens, and that might make it pretty tricky for windrowing, but you might be able to see everything's leaning that way. That's from the hail and the rain and the wind yesterday. It's pushed it all over and not flat on the ground, but it's leaning over. So we'll just make it a little bit more challenging to windrow, but that's okay. It's all part of the job. Just had a look at the canola down here and the wheat over in this back corner, and yeah, the hail damage is very minimal. The canola, well, here it's not really even leaning over much at all. It's looking good. The pods are starting to turn, or the seeds inside the pods are starting to turn more than I thought. It looks green on the outside, but there's some pods with quite a few turned seeds in it, so might be closer than we think. But anyway, the wheat's looking really good, and yeah, I'm really excited for harvest this year. It's looking good. Right, so now the hail checking is done. We're going to give the nitro a bit of a test. Alright, we're just cruising along through this rye. You can see making a bit of a row there. We've got some fresh water in the tank that we're just spraying out to make sure everything's working okay. The only reason I'm cutting this is just so we have some tracks through the rye. As you can see, it's pretty tall, and as it dries out, it's not very fun to drive through because it's a very high fire danger. So yeah, we just cut some tracks through it so it's easier to drive through, and so that the sheep can walk through it, and so that if we need to shift sheep through it, we've got some good tracks to walk them along. couple of weeks and we'll be out in the canola. I'm keen. Right, we got the front off. I took the nitro back to the shed. It should all be ready to go, I think. Yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.